Hello and welcome to this session. Today we will be seeing probability sampling method. Yesterday we had seen non-probability sampling method. Today we will be seeing probability sampling method. Now to quickly run through what is a population that you define your study. It can be your classroom. That is your population of study. What is a sample? You will not be able to study all the 60 members, so you're choosing a couple of them for your study. So that is your sampling. You use a variety of techniques for that. So probability sampling is when every member in your class, 60 people, have the equal chance to be included in the study. For most of the situations, you don't need that kind of a total participation. So those things will come under non-probability, where every member need not be included. Okay, and yesterday we saw the various types of non-probability. Today we will see probability sampling. So probability sampling is when every member has to be included, will be included, where the study is the objective of the study requires, the situation of the study requires a scenario where every member should be included. If they are not included, then it will become a error, problem. So you will have to include everybody. Then what is the method that you will choose? There is a simple random sampling. Then there is a systematic random sampling, stratified random sampling, and cluster sampling. Please understand this very clearly. The English word random does not have anything to do with statistical word random. Please understand this very clearly. The English word random doesn't have anything to do with random in statistics, in sampling, in research methods. Most of the time, what sampling technique you have used? I am using simple random sampling. Random sampling is the most difficult way to conduct your test. Random sampling is the most difficult sampling technique to use. Why? Because this population has to be clearly defined. If you are studying all investors in Bangalore, you cannot do a probability sampling because you don't know exactly the exact numbers. Okay. Similarly, if you want to, most of the studies, your population, the entire population, you will not know. All investors, all male, who are buyers of Van Heusen, how will you know? All people who are customer satisfaction from Big Bazaar, how will you know all people who have visited Big Bazaar? So most of the times, probability sampling is not possible unless and until you define a very, very close to population. But all the students and even the people who are doing PhD just say simple random sampling. Random sampling is the most difficult method of sampling to follow. Why? Because of the first rule. The first rule is it is a probability sampling. Probability sampling means every member in the universe will have to be given equal chance for participation. Right? So I will tell you all how a random sampling is generally done. Simple random sampling is the first criteria, very important. Every member should be included. How will you include every member? In your classroom, I will make a chit of all the people in your classroom, throw that chit into into a bowl and pick up. You understand? Randomness comes only after writing all the names. Randomness doesn't come before that. So it is very, very important when you say simple random sampling, the first procedure in that is to write down all the names, to include the entire population, to enlist them. Either you put their names or you put their roll numbers or you put their ID card numbers or their Aadhaar card numbers. You understood this? So simple random sampling is also known as a lottery method. How will you do a simple random method? It is a probability sampling. Because it is a probability sampling, every member in the population should be included. Their identity should be included. You either put their photographs, put all your photographs and just pick up one photograph, blindly pick up one. So the randomness of picking up comes only after putting the USN numbers or the photographs. You understood simple random sampling? It is a probability method. Every single member has to be included. All their things are put in form of a chit. Then one is picked up. Okay. So again, how many to pick up? That's the next question. So you will know whether I have to pick up one person. Supposing I have a prize reward for one person, then only one chit I pick up. Supposing I need 6 people from your class, then I pick up 6. Understood? So this is the first thing which is known as simple random sampling method. In most of your cases in your study, simple random sampling method is not possible unless and until you study a closed population, a population that you are aware of, like your classroom. Correct? Right. Let us now go to the next probability sampling method, which is systematic sampling. What is systematic sampling? The respondents are chosen in equal intervals. Again, the same example. All 60 people in your class are put according to the USN number and every 10th person is chosen. Clear? Systematic sampling. Okay, there is it is probability because every member is chosen, is every member's name is there. It is not random, but it is systematic. I am not picking up chits. I am picking up every 6th person, every 10th person. Okay, so this is known as systematic sampling. Probability sampling, systematic sampling. Clear? Right. In this there is no chits, whereas there is a list. That list will give all names. Okay. It is either put 1 to 60 or 60 to 1, but all the members are there. After that, every nth member is chosen. Okay. So where does the systematic come? After the probability is over. That means every member is written. Then I choose every 6th. That is systematic sampling. Next one is called cluster sampling. Please understand one keyword you understand for cluster. What is it? Cluster is groups. Okay. So what are the various groups I can make in your class? Male and female. Okay. Next is commerce, non-commerce. Karnataka, non-Karnataka. Okay. So I make various groups and then I choose members from there. So cluster sampling is, for example, most of the time we use this cluster sampling in terms of the area. Okay, supposing we want to study how is the example given, I've given example is you want to study the impact of COVID-19 what will you do? You will choose all the pin code. Pin code is one of the best ways to cluster. And if from each pin code, you choose 50 people. That choosing 50 from each cluster, okay, that is based on, again, if you have the entire list, then it is different. How will you know all the populations living in 32, pin code 32, 35, 38, right? So you can just choose the clusters. After that, you have to choose only convenience method from each cluster. Okay, so I have all the pin codes. Bangalore 1, 2, 3, 4. I have got 1 to 100 Bangalore pin code numbers. From each of the pin code number, how I am choosing? Okay, so I will go to one big apartment and choose 100 people from there. Convenience method. Okay, even at that level, if I have to use random sampling, then I have to list all the people and then choose from them. Correct? But if the population is very known, for example, if your class is the population, then I can choose, make clusters, male and female, and from that I can choose numbers. I can do a random sampling method. Clear? Cluster sampling probability method. Next is stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling is categories. Now, what is the difference between this cluster and this stratified random? Clusters most of the time is used from the point of view of geography. Okay, most of the time it's made use from the point of view of geography. Over here, stratified is based on any criteria. The stratified random sampling is a method of dividing the respondent population into distinct strata. Okay, economic strata. All those people who are earning household income is 3 lakhs and above, 1 lakh and above. So like that I divide and then choose from there, and then I go in for studies. Clear? So stratified random sampling, you can take this example. Supposing I want to study investment pattern. Okay, so what I can do is divide the family income as 3 lakh plus 2 lakh plus 1 lakh plus 50,000 plus, and then I can do a study. So that is the method that I will be using is stratified random sampling method. Right? All these are probability method, which means I am including every single member, giving equal chance for every single member in the population to be included in the study. Right? Next one is sampling and non-sampling error. So what is this sampling error? Sampling error is, see this picture. Sampling error is, I am not choosing. Over here, red, green, blue is there. Green is not chosen here in the sample. It happens. Okay, so population, supposing from your class, okay, I don't choose one particular segment. Okay, I am choosing only commerce and science graduates. I am not choosing arts students, or engineering students and commerce students I am choosing, and I am not choosing people who are doctors, because generally my assumption is in MBA there are no doctors who takes MBA. Okay, so that will be a non-sampling error. Generally, a non-sampling error, what will happen is the values, the descriptive value of the, what is descriptive value? Mean, median, mode. Right? Mean, median, mode, standard deviation of the sampling population should be equivalent to that of the actual population. Right? So if this kind of error comes, then there will be a slight variation. For example, the overall population will have an average of 6.6 and the sample population will be 0.55. That is known as the sampling error. Okay, so why did this error come up? This error came up because, okay, the people who are chosen from the sample, they were not true representatives of the total population. Right? So what will you do if this error comes? You will simply increase the sampling size. By increasing the sampling size, you can reduce sampling error. The very word sampling error means that which you have chosen from the population, the sample, there is something wrong in it. So how you can put it right? By increasing the sampling size. Okay. What is non-sampling error? A non-sampling error is okay, this is sampling error. Sampling error is caused by the act of taking a sample or leaving out a particular set of people in the sample. They cause sample results to be different from the results of the census. Right? The difference between the sample and the population that exist only because of the observation that happens to be selected for the sample. So what will you do? You will increase the sampling size and then this error will go away. Clear? Sampling error. Now, non-sampling error. Non-sampling error has nothing to do with the sample you have chosen. The sample are perfectly fine. Okay? They are true representatives and of the total population. But where did the error happen? In the field work. Cheating. They didn't go to the house at all and meet the people at all. They are just filling the forms. Okay? Who? The field operators or the students. That is an error. Okay? Like this, interview character. When they are taking the interview, they are not giving sufficient time for a person to understand. There is a fatigue. There is a target. Every day you have to do 100 questionnaire. You know, people who are from who are on field work, who are given money, they have targets. So fatigue. They are not giving enough time. So there is an error. This has nothing to do with respondents. It is to do with administrating the questionnaire. Field worker error. Okay. Respondents error. Respondents error, their falsehood. They are asking me how much you are earning and I am saying, yeah, I am earning 1.5 crores per annum. I am lying. Okay, why? Because nobody is going to catch me. Why I should tell something low about myself? Falsehood. Okay. Non-respondents. Sometimes I don't want to give the answer for certain things. Happens. Okay. So I gave you all 2-3 times I had given this example. If you go and ask a politician Are you a truthful politician? They'll say, yes, I am truthful. Have you been very diligent to your work? Yes, I have been extremely diligent to my work. Can you answer which are the situations where you feel that you have not done enough work? No comments. You see that no comments is non-response error. Okay. Then unintentional error. They don't understand how many inches, for example. I don't understand inches and centimeters. Okay, how many liters of milk do you consume? I don't know. Roughly I say something. Guessing. Distraction. These are all from the respondents. You understand non-sampling error? Excellent. So today we have finished the fourth module. Okay, fourth module of business research methods. All the very best. I will be giving a question bank for this and you will start working on it. Thank you very much.